If you've been scrolling through endless options for a garage lift and still feel stuck on whether any of them actually solve the space problem in your shop, you're not alone. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the big numbers. £8,000 for posts, a drive-through without a clear picture of how the machine will sit in your concrete slab, how it will move your everyday project cars, or whether you'll end up paying for a feature you'll never use. That's why today I'm breaking down the Triumph NSS 8,000 pounds 4-post storage lift the way a real-world buyer would, from the moment you roll it out of the box to the day you're loading a second car underneath. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of garage that actually needs a lift of this size. The NSS 8 is built for a shop that regularly handles full-size sedans, trucks, or even small SUVs on a daily basis. If you're a hobbyist who only ever lifts a compact hatchback for a tire change, you'll probably find the footprint and the 8,000 pounds capacity overkill. But if you run a small business doing body work, engine swaps, or you simply own a couple of daily drivers and want to store one on the lift while the other sits beneath, this lift hits a sweet spot. The real selling point isn't just the raw weight rating, it's the way the design lets you double-stack vehicles, effectively turning a 200-square-foot garage into a 2-car vertical storage system. The dimensions matter a lot, and they're where the hidden trade-offs start to appear. The overall height of the lift is 84 inches, which means you need at least a 9-foot ceiling to raise a car comfortably without scraping the roof. Most residential garages cap out around 8 feet, so you'll either need to raise the ceiling, accept a lower lift height, or use the lift only for short-term work rather than full storage. The overall length of 175 inches and a drive-through width of 93 inches are generous enough that a standard mid-size sedan can drive straight onto the platform. But you'll need a clear runway of 165 inches to accommodate the approach and exit. If your shop layout is tight, you may have to rearrange tools, workbenches, or even relocate a wall to make room for that runway. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a cost you pay in space, not dollars. From the practical side, the lift's 4-post configuration gives you a very stable platform for larger vehicles. I've watched a few shop owners load a full-size pickup and a small SUV simultaneously, and the posts stay perfectly aligned even when the lower car's wheels are turned. That stability translates into peace of mind when you're stacking a vehicle for storage. You're not worried about the lift wobbling or the upper car shifting under its own weight. The design also makes it easier to roll a car onto the lift without fiddling with alignment pins. Just drive straight in, lock the posts, and you're ready to go. For mechanics who need to get under a car quickly, the open-frame design provides decent legroom without the need to crawl around a bulky column. Now, let's consider the downsides that don't get shouted out in the marketing copy. The lift is electrically powered, which means you need a dedicated 110-volt circuit that can handle the starter motor's current draw. In a typical home garage, that often requires hiring an electrician to add a 15-amp or 20-amp line, adding a few $100s to the total investment. The unit also relies on hydraulic fluid for the lifting action, and while the manufacturer claims a sealed system, any long-term user will eventually need to check for leaks or top off the fluid. If you're not comfortable performing basic hydraulic maintenance, that could be a source of frustration. Another practical concern is the ramp system. The NSS 8 comes with a set of ramps that slide out for loading, but they're not motorized. They have to be pulled out and locked manually. In a busy shop where you're moving cars in and out all day, that extra step can add a few minutes per lift cycle. It's not a huge time sink, but it's something to factor in if you're counting every minute of labor. Also, the lift's control panel is fairly basic: up, down, and stop buttons with a single LED indicator for position. There's no digital display of height or weight, so you have to gauge the lift's position by eye. For a professional service shop that wants precise lift heights for repeatable work, that might feel a bit primitive. Who should walk away from this lift? If you're a renter, or if your garage ceiling is under 9 feet, you'll likely hit a wall, literally, before you get any real benefit. Similarly, if your primary need is just to change a tire or perform a quick oil change on a single vehicle, a simple floor jack or a 2-post lift will be more economical and take up far